Welcome friends, we are here with another story from live action from AHA 2016, and I have with me one master chef who is not only popular in his professional circuit but very popular among the masses. He's all over the place. You go to social media, you go to TV, you go to any media, you will find him. I have with me Chef Saby. He's popularly known as Saby.
That is a glowing introduction.
Welcome to the show, Saby.
A glowing introduction you gave me. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Lovely to be here, and it's been fascinating.
No flattering. Actually, we have shot basically a live kitchen session just before this show. And I can tell you and I can guarantee you, I mean, the moment we will show you those visuals, you can find out yourself how popular he is. Every session that he's doing at AHA 2016 is a mega hit. And I don't want to talk more about it. I want to listen from the guest itself. How's the experience this time with AHA 2016?
Yeah, it's been fascinating. Like I was saying, last 4 days has been action-packed.
Okay.
I almost have like a back pain running around in the kitchen. But it's fun because there's so much positive energy. There's so much interest in people. As you already know that I am hosted by the Canadian Pavilion.
Yeah.
So every ingredient that is coming out of Canada, and Canada is a large province, right?
Yeah.
So there are people from India, immigrants who have settled down in Canada, and so there's a beautiful story,
Okay.
which immigrant has taken what along with them, what are they growing there. That's all now coming back to us. So from fish and seafood, which is of course from the ocean, there are cereals. So interestingly, we have masoor dal, we have chana, and we have yellow peas, which is vatana.
Okay.
So all of this is actually now coming back to us from Canada. And they're like, can you cook something? So I said, look, we've grown up eating dal. Like, how can I? So do you want me to make a dal? No, I'll make something different. So we've made, so the first session I made a hummus with the masoor dal.
Okay.
And they were very excited.
Okay.
So interesting ingredients are coming from Canada. I've been hosted by them. Of course, they have some ingredients which are geographically vary from Canada. No other country has it. Like the maple syrup, canola oil, the maple syrup. No, geographically you can't have it. Like champagne can only be in Champagne in France.
Correct.
We can all have bubblies or sparkling wines, but can't make a champagne. So same thing. So those are the two ingredients, which is like my core ingredients.
Okay.
Canola oil is fantastically healthy. It is light. It kind of gels well with any kind of Indian cooking, European cooking, grilling. So I've done grills. I've used them for pancakes and cakes.
Okay.
I've used them for bakes. I've also used them for making my risottos and my rice and my porridge. And then what I've done is I've used a lot of interesting Indian ingredients, like, since we're in Delhi and we are here, India is the biggest story in the world today. So I've used things like ancient Indian grains, like if you use millets, like I've used foxtail millet, I've used kudu millet, I've used barnyard millet, I've used a lot of ramdan or amaranth.
It's a perfect fusion.
It's a fantastic blend. Yes, you're right. So it's a beautiful fusion of whatever is coming from Canada to whatever is already here with us today. I'm trying to showcase all of it together into a nice, interesting platter. So I'm doing 4 sessions of live cooking.
Okay.
And every day I'm talking about a different subject. So one, I'm talking about a natural sweetener. So I'm using maple syrup and doing different recipes.
Okay.
Next one, I'm talking about superfood.
Okay.
So I'm doing flax seeds, which is in abundance from Canada.
Okay.
I'm using chia seeds. I'm using pumpkin seeds. And I'm using, from India, I'm using amaranth or the ramdana. So I'm making a beautiful superfood tart or a superfood bar or like an energy bar, which you can have it as a breakfast cereal. You can send it to your children in a tiffin box. So it's very different perspective. And then suddenly we have pork and salmon. So you can do like a really meat dish, which is like, I want to have a nice hearty meat dish. So you can do a glaze of maple chili on a pork or a nicely grilled salmon on a bed of little greens or salad or something. So it's been fascinating. We've had all kinds of people from, of course, your chefs to your young students, exciting, young students from IHMs and different colleges, housewives, because today we've opened up, to people and public.
That was very exciting actually to see, housewives taking so much of interest in those live kitchen shows. And I'm interrupting you. He is very famous among the ladies, so so that part I just want to add.
Just edit that part.
Yeah. So you were saying something.
Yes. So it's fascinating to see how many people that are coming with the interest of new ingredients. Like you rightly started by saying that so many interesting things are coming.
Correct.
Now, for me, gone are those days where you should be excited, because in India we had this whole thing about it's imported. Today, it's coming from Canada because it's geographically growing in Canada, and that's how I look at it. I don't think of it, oh, because it's imported, it has to be good. No.
So it's not an imported product anymore, it's more of an original.
Yes, it's from the home of the source.
Correct.
Cranberries, we're using lots of cranberries. The finest cranberries of the world grows in Canada. The best blueberries grows in Canada. So why are we using berries? Because it's not because it's important, it's cool to have berries, because cranberries and blueberries grows in Canada.
Grows there.
They're coming from there, they're best quality. If you incorporate them in your diet, it is going to be healthier. So that's another thing I'm constantly telling people. I'm like, don't eat it because Saby is saying it, don't eat it because it's imported, don't eat it because it's coming from Canada. Eat it because it is going to give you health, vitality, it is going to give you a healthy future to you and to your children. So you must know today what are you eating, why are you eating, what all are you incorporating in your food, and it should not be like because it's expensive I'm eating it. That perspective is completely changed.
Okay. Now, I've seen a lot of like young chefs also basically, I mean, side by side, I mean, with people like you, like who are already so famous. So, how's the opportunity like interacting with those young like kids who are directly coming from IHM and other like institutes?
See, Ahar is a fantastic platform for young chefs, and I've always encouraged it. 2005, 2016, it's my 11th Ahar. I've come every year, whatever I do, wherever I'm in the world. This 5 days I block 1 year in advance, so that I'm not going to miss this 5 days.
Which is fantastic, yeah.
It's great time for me to interact with my veterans. Like I meet Chef Manjeet Singh Gill, you know, you touch his feed, you see Mr. Chef DK.
Correct.
You meet all your old buddies. The chefs that you have, you know, taken as inspiration from, then your friends from college, friends from IHM, and then of course the youngsters. So this is a 5 day of great interaction and camaraderie for the association and the chefs and the industry for itself. And then every year you see new young faces coming.
Correct.
Young chefs, very excited. They need 5 minutes of maybe inspirational talk or a guidance. Not that, you know, they are expecting or you really need to spend your whole day with them, but even that 5 minutes really, I've had people coming back and say, oh, you know, I have met you in so and so Ahar, and post that it's really greatly helped me, and it feels amazing to hear that, that I've met somebody 5 years back in Ahar and I've had a 5-minute chat that I don't remember, but has helped somebody's life. That, oh, it's true. You know, it's given me a perspective.
I think that's the beauty of this kind of event, when I mean, everybody is getting a chance, everybody is getting a moment where they can actually touch and feel and basically interact with you.
It's one-to-one.
Yeah, we were covering basically the competition area today morning, with Chef DK, and I could see basically all those youngsters, all those young professionals, actually those young chefs, they were in a queue actually, just waiting for the moment when Chef DK will just say hi to them, and he was so basically happy himself.
Nice
He approached everyone. He handshake with them. A lot of people have taken selfies with him. So it was a craze there, and I could see basically that's I think in every profession you see your idols and you see your role models.
And these are like stalwarts of the industry. You know, today if you look at Chef Gill, Chef Soundarajan, Chef DK, they're absolute scholars. They've spent more than 30 odd years now in the industry. We've all grown up idolizing, you know, looking after them and, you know, looking up to them. And today, suddenly you are with them.
One more thing, Chef Saby, that you have been visiting all the international events, I mean, you have been performing live kitchens abroad also, how do you rate basically Ahar with those events, and where exactly you kind of like rate this?
Look, it's an interesting question, and there are two ways I'm going to try and answer it. It's very easy to say that whatever we sing abroad is great, and it's fascinating, and it's much better. In many ways, maybe it is. But it's also a lot about the participation of the people. See, there are two things. Let's say infrastructure is something that is part of government, there's part of the state who is managing and handling it.
And the organizers, basically.
Yes. And the other part of it, it's people's participation. So, if I have to answer the first part of it, then I would have to say infrastructure, yes, as we know, the Pragati Maidan is a very, very old infrastructure and probably not capable of handling, you know, today's modern, you know, generation with high-speed internet, great phone connectivity, great parking, everybody's coming in with their own cars. This was, I'm assuming, is built 40 years back, and it didn't have all of that then.
But the good news is that there is already an announcement from the government. So that's a great
that's a fantastic. We all look forward to the new Pragati Maidan. I'm assuming it's going to be as good as any other international venue, be it Thana Mera in Singapore or Fancy Food in Chicago or any of these other places. Okay, the other part of it, to you know, the participation part of it, where the people who are showing or people who are visiting, both exhibitors and visitors, I think there's great synergy here. There's great enthusiasm here, which I feel is what has kept this going. Which is very important, because you can be in Taj Mahal, but if there's no energy in it, then there's no value to it, right?
True.
So of course we can upgrade this part of it, and we should be upgrading it like any other international arena. At the same time, I think what we have is a wealth of people or enthusiastic crowd and exhibitors both. Both sides. The exhibitors also has a lot of enthusiasm. They really go out of the. It's been 4 days. We've all been on our feet, including yourself. But we all talk to our last guest and our customers as if like we are the first one meeting in the morning because that's coming from your heart.
So hospitality is like in our blood.
Yes, that's something that you can't really take it away from Indians, and that's what I think is the best thing about this industry. Infrastructure up and down will always happen.
Chef DK mentioned one very interesting thing in the morning session. Actually, he said that there can't be a better messenger actually of brand India or say Incredible India than a chef. Because he is one person basically who's bringing 2 cultures basically together. The moment you prepare, the whole process of actually preparing a food itself is actually is a cultural representation to the world.
True.
So I think chef community is getting a lot of
look, food in my mind is like something that is embedded in your culture. That's why we all like our own home food or our mothers, grandmothers cooking because it's in your DNA.
It's in DNA.
So it comes something that you've grown in, something that it's been imbibed from your mom's womb. So that's how it all comes to, right?
Okay.
So you need to understand the culture deeply to understand food of any country.
Yeah.
The moment you're bringing in ingredients from cross borders or techniques from cross borders, without knowing it, it's a fusion. It's a beautiful fusion. Today, we all have palates which have developed to accept that. There was a time when you would only want to eat what is home cooked. Maybe even 30 years back, it was only just home cooked food. And today, it's still as much as it was then, it is still now, the comfort of it. But you're also open to eating something different from across the board.
See, pasta is a perfect example. I mean, 10 years back, it was basically it's only for the premium niche people, okay? They were trying it. But I think today, every home, every housewife, I mean, it's a regular meal.
Chinese food, Italian food, Spanish food, olives and olive oil. Like there was a time I was the first member of the Olive Oil Association in 1998, I remember. And there was maybe 1 or 2 brands. Today, at any decent supermarket, you'll have 20 to 30 different brands. Of all, and that's so exciting for me to see that it's not, I come from a generation where, the olive oil is in a can, it was used for massage. And you have a newborn baby in the house, you have a little olive oil in the house. Now suddenly olive oil is used for cooking. People interested, अच्छा इसमें अगर तंदूरी chicken marinate करेंगे तो कैसे होगा? और इसमें butter chicken बना सके? That kind of information is happening. So you are inquisitive now to incorporate olive oil because you feel it is healthy.
Correct.
You've been told that if you cook with it, it has low glycemic, low fat, low cholesterol, low this, that. So you're actually embracing things from a completely foreign, civilization, which you had no exposure to even 20 years back.
True.
So open to experimenting, you're opening yourself, you're opening your home, you're opening your kitchens, and you're also trusting the chefs and their opinion with the health of your family and children. So at both sides, it's a great responsibility. The chefs today are as big as rock stars in this country, as you already know. With great power comes great responsibility. The chefs have to be responsible for promoting the right ingredients, telling the right things, not taking sides, but taking a futuristic view towards it. See, a lot of us promote ingredients.
I know. I mean, see, anything with that you...
A lot of us promote brands.
Correct.
I always say it's better to promote an ingredient because that has a future attached to it. A brand could be this brand and that brand because in profession, you're promoting a brand, that's your job. But if you take a futuristic view, like I am promoting apples. Or let's say I'm promoting olives. Or let's say I'm promoting olives. Which are the things that I promote? That I'm not saying apple from a particular company. Yes. So I'm just saying this particular apple of this kind is healthy. It should incorporate in your diet. Give it to your children in a tiffin, and it'll be it'll work well for you. So things like that. So you're promoting a country. You're promoting a geographical origin. You're promoting a particular product from a different country which wasn't available 20 years back. I'm promoting walnuts from California. I'm not saying a particular walnut brand. So things like that. I think that's how today chefs have become, like you rightly said, they've become great ambassadors of not just, see, because I'm opening up my kitchen, okay, fine, now my children are also eating in my kitchen. So I'm believing an ex-chef on either TV or on social media or on print media to bring that product into my house. Maybe 5 years back, it was a Bollywood star who told you that. And slowly that's changing, and it's a fantastic, see, now the Bollywood star would not really know if this olive oil is good for your health or not. But
so that though I can guarantee, I can endorse that fact that now even at homes, people are not basically going by the brand value of it. They're actually like going through all the reviews and I mean whatever is coming from your side. So you write a blog and immediately people follow it, not because you are a celebrity, but you are actually
people
like,
want to know.
Yeah,
they want to get to the bottom of it. Like,
the,
what kind of an olive oil, what da-da-da, and whether it is pomace or it's virgin or it's extra virgin, what all could you do out of it? How did you apply it in your thing? So there is a great interest, and I think that's why there's all synergy between the people, the gourmands, or the interesting people who are the foodies, or just Aam Janta for that matter, who's conscious about food or health, and the chefs. It's a great bonding also that is happening.
So with that, I say the natural next extension of the question is that what is more exciting for you, to cooking basically at a 5-star and a big like hotel or a restaurant, or basically live performing in front of people?
Look, I've been cooking for the brand Olive, which catered to the biggest names of this country till about 2012. So from my journey initially as a chef, then working in 5-star hotels, and leaving that, getting into restaurants. 2000 when I got into restaurants. Before that, 4 or 5 years I was cooking in 5 stars. Like normally all of us, we go and take up management training program with either Oberoi's or Taj or one of these big names. So I did that bit of mine, and then I said, no, I need to kind of connect, because food is my thing. So restaurants is
why I had to come out of the kitchen and just...
Yes, because restaurants, you're more just food driven, right? Because it's all just food. There is no room service, there is no banquets, there is no rooms, there is no pool, nothing to sell, just food. So
just food,
you are selling something that the plate, whatever is in the plate, only talks for you.
Correct.
Or that's the only thing that will talk for you, and nothing else, right?
Correct.
So that's pretty much your representation of what is there on the plate. So I got out into restaurants, and interestingly, my first job in 1999 was with Mr. A.D. Singh, when it's pre-Olive days actually. And post that, I have catered to the Bachchan family very closely. I've catered to the Mani family very closely. Mr. Birla was here the other day. He called me. He said, Saby, I'm coming to a restaurant. I know you have 3:30 and you're shut. Can you? I said, I'll open everything for you. Please come. I've known you for all my life. So I've like personalities like that, be it the Mariwala family, or you name it, for that, everybody for that matter. I did that till 2012, and at some point it occurred to me that, look, I can do this all my life, but I've done it enough with great respect, with great dignity. I've cooked for them. They have given me great respect and dignity. Also, there's many ways it has made me what I am today, because I've worked for people or cooked for people that has the power to make opinions. So if today Mrs. Mariwala from Marico Industries goes and says, oh, I love Saby's vegetarian degustation menu, that entire Bombay society wakes up to that. Or if Mr. Anil Ambani says, oh, this guy is really close to my heart because he feeds my stomach, all of pastry would talk about it. And that's what made me, from an average young chef in a corner of a 5-star hotel to what I became, and it is not overnight. It's taken me about 22 odd years to go through this journey now. At some point I realized that I have been given this great gift of cooking food, and for the last 3 years, so I have started working with alternative things. So I've started my college, been teaching. I've been spending more time with students. So I'm going out to farthest of universities.
Fantastic to know. I mean, so you're giving time basically to workshops.
Yes, to grow, and something that I don't even charge for. I said, if I go outside the country, I always charge. But here, whenever I'm going to a college or university, I just go free of charge. I go spend a day, spend an afternoon, talk to them, give them a demo, do some styling work, something. I've started working with charities where I realized there's a great demand, not just to feed the stomach, because there's a lot of hungry people, but also to give know-how of how to process food, how to cook hygienic and healthy meals with very limited resources. So that's why I'm using today bajra. Bajra we've always used for bird feed, right? Or jawar, bajra. These are things you never really give any value. You always think, I need a basmati which should be 1 inch long. But that basmati at the end of the day has no nutrients. And if you're giving one midday meal to a charity home where the child is only eligible to eat once, you must give them something that is nutritional.
Very nutritious,
At the same time, you can't just give rice and dal, because what happens to all the other vitamins, the protein. So also it's made me think of looking at all these alternative food sources. So last 3 years, I'm extensively working with some part of the slow food movement in the country. I'm working with farmers and growers. I'm working with ancient grains of India, which has almost been lost, but it's across the country, from south to west to up north in the hills to northeast. They all grow in pockets, but they're not been spoken about. Nobody's really trying to bring them. Like today, the last session I cooked barley. We have always thought barley as like like a food of patients in a hospital. You would not really think of it putting in a Michelin restaurant, but it is a fantastic grain. It is got all the the requirements and the vitamins and everything that you need nutrient wise that rice doesn't have today, and especially rice which is processed or rice which is coming from genetically modified seeds. So that's another thing that in the last 2-3 years that I've gone into looking at sources that this is genetically modified. So first I need to educate myself.
Correct.
See, all this while I'm cooking in a fantastic restaurant, there's a beautiful shiny kitchen, all the celebrities of the world are coming and cooking, and you're not thinking that much, you're only thinking fine, fine, fine and finer. Today I'm thinking, what will flax seeds give me? Maybe it doesn't taste that good, but if you can do it in a different way, it will give me nutritional value that a fantastic lamb or a chicken might not give me.
Okay.
So why not incorporate flaxseed, which is a cheaper source of protein or iron or vitamin. So like that, my thought process as a chef has also changed a lot in the last 3-4 years. I think I've personally become a far more matured person. I just don't look at it as because it's shiny or it's nicely packaged or it comes with a great brand name of France or Italy. I really want to know,
Get
I turn
into
the bottle,
depth of it,
I read the label, nutritional values, where is it coming from, how it has been produced. So so all that has been also a great personal journey for me.
No, I think that's a great tip. I think a lot of young chefs or people like who are starting this profession at their colleges can take a lot from this conversation. That don't go by brands, don't go by the gloss or the glamour that comes with the product. Go into the ingredient, study it well. Try to do experiments on your own, do your own research, and then basically recommend something. So I think that's a fantastic thing. What are the crazy questions you're getting in your live kitchens from the people? I think they must be very, very curious. I mean, you engage everybody. I've seen that.
All sorts of questions, like of course a lot of the questions are about the excitement about ingredient. मतलब इससे और क्या हो सकता है? अच्छा, canola oil है. Achha, but you also promote olive oil. I said, but this is equally good. So now that it is there and it is coming from a different country where there is no olives, Canada has no olives, so canola oil is coming. But so that's the thing, so break the myth. It is not that just that olive oil is healthy. We also have mustard oil in our country, which is equally healthy.
Fantastic, yeah.
We have rice bran oil in our country, which is fantastically healthy. So it depends on which source it is coming from. Is you need to know. So open up your mind. Today Google is there. You can open up the world in front of you in a little smartphone and read about it. So a lot of the questions are about ingredients. A lot of the questions are about all the recipes that you're making, would it taste the same when you cook at home? I said, look, if you bring me home, it will taste the same. So I can't guarantee if it is cooked by you or your wife or mom or no, but will you give us a recipe? I said, of course, the recipes are all on the net. They're all printed out. Take it. Then there's a lot of excitement about people asking students, like more to do with career and counseling kind of a thing. So while I'm cooking, I'm also doing career counseling to people. अच्छा मैंने ना ये छोड़ दिया, ये course 15 months का था, इसमें diploma हो रहा था. Then all of that is going on. So I think it's fascinating to go through this whole process because you're so accessible.
That's really amazing.
You're in somebody's kitchen and you're talking from yesterday, yesterday India lost the cricket match, to career, to to what can be done with flax seeds, to why canola oil and not olive oil, to suddenly we're talking about, oh, this is salmon, oh, it's from Canada, we also get it from Norway, and what could be the price, who could be the importer. So it's like
all of that.
So
it's a business, it's a chat show, it's a performance.
I think it's chat show, of course.
Great.
So yeah, it's been fascinating to have had Canada hosting it because it's also costs a lot of money, right? Because to put this live kitchen together, to have meat, to have ingredients. So it's also great credit to Canada High Commission and Canadian government for hosting us.
No, we had a session with them and they were very, very excited with your live sessions. And I think it will grow. I mean, that is what I can see it. So, yes. I want to hear from you the way I think the Ahar as an event is growing. Where do you see basically we are heading to?
It's huge. Like I was 2 months back, I was at CJAP and I was like, wow, this is in Rimini in Italy. And I'm like, wow, what a big fancy show. But I'm like, still no, I have to be back at Ahar. So I had closed my dates. So I came to Ahar and I'm super excited all over again. The live kitchen is something that just happened by chance. They've been talking to me. And I was like, okay, because I was thinking it's going to be one of those where there's a little small counter and you're doing cooking something little in a small induction pan and you're giving out tasting. That's something I wasn't very excited about, honestly. But I said, chalo, let's go and meet them. So I went to the High Commission and they showed me this whole drawing. I'm like, wow, this is like a proper kitchen. And they're like, yeah, this is where you're going to be. I'm like, okay, then I'm excited. So I said, can I cook in the front and the back? He said, the entire place is yours. We have camera on both sides. We will have guests walking in and out. We'll invite food bloggers, food critics. We'll have a little small section where people can sit in chairs and all at your disposal. I said, brilliant. So I'm on. So I think it's also the whole focus that how they brought in the whole, this whole live kitchen into the whole scene. Because lots of places are going to do food tasting or something. I kid you not, so many suppliers and exhibitors came to my kitchen. They said, "Acha, ye acha bana hua hai. Agle saal hum log bhi banayenge aise."
Okay.
Lot of people came and saw it, and I said, "Yeah, these are the way we have set up. This is where our shelves are. These are cooking stations are." So people got very excited the way it has been set. I'm sure the next year when we do it, even we will do it better. There's always a scope of doing things better. A lot of other people took inspiration from us. The kitchen is open from both sides, so you can walk around and see. Even if you're outside, there's screen, so you can actually see from the outer side. Even if you have no space to come in. So all of that I think has made it very exciting. So particularly 2016 Ahar for me has been fascinating. We've had great competition at ICF. We've had a lot of young chefs coming. I've been going every day to see the competition. It's gone up another notch. Hall 18, where I am, we have great events with the live cooking, people visiting us. So overall, it's been a very fulfilling and an exciting show for me.
Okay. See, I can also tell you from my experience and from our experience, the entire team basically, which is shooting live shows and whatever we are doing promotion online also as a Viva Horeca team. Canada Commission was one of the first actually who got engaged with us online. So our engagement basically started from online on a Twitter.
So obviously they must be thinking,
yeah,
they connected with you. And
yeah, exactly. So yeah, they were one of the fastest actually who came on board.
They seem very proactive, of course. Yeah. Due respect.
Okay. So what's next big?
My restaurant. I've not been able to go back for a while. So Monday I'm hoping I'll go back to Lavash, which is my own brand of restaurant. Yeah. I'm actually going to Vinitaly and Agro Food. This is happening in 10th April onwards. Okay. So I'm going to be in Verona. And then I'm cooking at Yerevan, which is Armenia. So the master has invited me to come and cook there in a culinary school and in a couple of vineyards. So that's happening. Okay. So March we're almost going to, another week or so March would be over. So April I am doing lots of things. This Sunday, the moment we finish, that is day after, I am talking to this group of young students, which is, I forget, it's called UB something. They're a group of students from New York who are working for charities in Delhi. And they also are helping my particular charity that I support called the Delhi Gurgaon Food Bank. Okay. So they've been very keen to talk to me. So I've not been able to spend time. So first event I'm doing with them is tomorrow. Okay. And this is happening at a bookstore at CP. Okay. So I'm talking to these 40 young students from across the country and around the world who have come to India to work for charity. Then next 5-6 days, I would probably try to take a break. I have not seen my daughter in a while, so I'll go and spend some time with her. April again is back-to-back events. I'm trying to open at least 2 new restaurants this year with 2 interesting concepts, but all indigenous because constantly working post soda bottle. I'm constantly now working with concepts which is my story or a story of India or something that we are very proud of. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So there you have. I mean, in last 10 minutes, I think he has taken us basically on a round trip of the so many places in the world. I mean, from Romania to a home kitchen to a live session at here. He is working with so many NGOs. So that's how basically I started the show, that he is one person who is busy everywhere. You will see him doing so many things. And one last question before we wrap up this show, that who do the cooking at home? Interestingly, my wife's vegetarian. Okay. So she manages on her own. She likes, a bit of healthy kind of stuff. Okay. My daughter has gone on me. So whenever we're meeting, the first thing we do is we have a fried chicken date. Okay. So me and my daughter, because my wife would not eat fried chicken, so my fried chicken date is always with my daughter. Okay. And my so she's a wannabe chef? She's very young. She's going to be, she's 5.5 years old. She's but interest is already there. I don't know. She is criticizing me already. She's like, Papa, your food is like this and you're doing this much on TV and your recipes are like that. I'm like, how do you know all this? You're 5 years old. You only watch on TV. And so she's already fairly, how today's kids are. Like they are smarter than all of us. Yeah. Very 21st century kids. So they are like, she's like, oh, you're putting too much oil in your food these days. Oh, yeah? I'm like, hello, you're 5-year-old. How are you even allowed? So you have a critic at home. Already. So, and this is when she's watching me on TV. Okay. Because somebody must have commented either in the society or in the home when people are watching. Achha, he's putting too much oil. So he's like, Papa, you're putting too much oil in your food. I'm like, do you even know what is oil? So yeah, so I have this, very big critic at home. So I'm quite worried that whenever I actually, because now she's more into very basic food. So as she grows and she develops her palate, I'm worried that, I'm going to have a critic at home who's going to be sitting on my head and going to be criticizing me. Okay. My dad's a fascinating cook. Here in Delhi, my sister and my brother-in-law, they're Bengali, so they are good cooks. So in the family, there's like a whole
lot of competition.
People who cook, but they're more like home food kind of people. So including myself, like last night we got out from here, we went to Nizamuddin.
Okay.
So
great.
I love eating food that is soulful, that you can come home to or go back to every night. Eat a nice kali dal and a roti and a dhaba, or a lovely kebab and a biryani on the roadside. Something that you really connect with. So that's really my go-to food, whether it's whether I'm here or whether I'm in Bombay or I'm traveling elsewhere in the world.
Straight
Even
from
at
the
home,
heart.
it's comfort food. Yeah, it's always been that. So at home also, it's not so critical because it's always comfort food. It can be just a nice yellow dal and rice, and so yeah, it's that simple.
Great. So with that, we just wrap up this show, and we have so many things to talk to Chef Saby, but I think we leave that for some other series. Tomorrow he's again basically performing live, so I think we'll catch up again with him
Must come
tomorrow
and try some
at
of
the
the
breakfast show. With that, thank you so much from the studio.